Hi, Clay Charlotte here, coordinator of Accent and Communicating. And one thing that I've always noticed as an educator teaching written and oral communication is that probably the hardest part of the job, or maybe one of the most grueling parts of the job, is giving feedback and grading student papers and presentations. I think we all feel comfortable giving lectures, making videos, creating activities for students, but when it comes to the grading part of the process, it can be pretty grueling. So what I want to talk about today in this video is just a few principles that really make grading a little bit easier while having the best impact possible on student learning. So the concept that I think really helps illustrate that is something that in writing studies we call higher order concerns versus lower order concerns, also known as HOCs and LOCs. So HOCs, higher order concerns, are these bigger picture issues that are the most important thing to communicating. So for example, if we're talking about a paper, things like the main idea, the supporting points, the structure, the flow, organization, clarity, overall clarity, things like that, these are higher order concerns. In contrast, LOCs, or lower order concerns, are also very important, yes, but they are maybe, if we're prioritizing the amount of time and attention we need to spend on them, a little bit less important. These are things like sentence level, grammar, mechanics, and syntax. Things like subject-verb agreement or the proper use of a semicolon. They're very important when you're polishing the very final draft and trying to make something as perfect as possible, but they're less important when you're talking about trying to make an overall document or presentation that makes the most sense. So a lot of these concepts developed in the writing studies field, but they also apply to presentations as well. So it kind of makes sense if you think about it this way. Although we all value grammar and good grammar and spelling and so on, the amount of time that you spend giving that feedback on the paper can actually be a pretty big waste of time. So let's take, for example, a sentence where you've really dwelled on it and obsessed over every detail of it, making it grammatically perfect and massaging it and polishing it as much as possible. And then you take a step back, or you get feedback from an instructor or feedback from a peer, and you realize that whole entire paragraph where that sentence is sitting doesn't even need to be there. It's totally besides the point. It's a little bit of a tangent. It's not really supporting your overall point. It's a little wordy, whatever it might be. And you realize you just need to eliminate the whole thing. And now you've wasted a lot of time really polishing a sentence that in the end doesn't even need to be there at all. Now, we've all been there as writers, and we've all been there preparing a speech, but it's something that we can help our students avoid as much as possible in the way that we give feedback. Another example that illustrates this is a famous sentence that was created by the linguist Noam Chomsky that says, "Colorless green ideas sleep furiously." I'm going to say that again. Colorless green ideas sleep furiously. So this sentence is grammatically correct. It's syntactically correct. There's no issues with subject-verb agreement or the modifiers or anything. Everything is in its right place, grammatically speaking. And Noam Chomsky created it, crafted it for that very purpose. However, it makes no sense. What does colorless green ideas sleep furiously mean? Anyone? It means nothing. Colorless and green? How can something be colorless and green? How can an idea be any color, let alone colorless and green? How can you sleep furiously? Sleeping is a pretty passive thing, and furious things are usually pretty active. So a lot of those ideas, they just don't go together. However, the sentence is sound, grammatically speaking. So this sentence is a famous example that just illustrates how you can craft this really perfect, grammatically perfect sentence, but the meaning is not there. And we've all been to speeches or given our own speeches or written something or read something from someone else where we find a sentence like that is pretty empty in terms of meaning. It's maybe not as bad as that example, but it's pretty bad, and it just is grammatically sound but meaningless. So we want students to avoid that as well. Higher order concerns versus lower order concerns, focusing on the HOCs first and then focusing on the LOCs second. We really help make sure that the attention that students are paying towards their own revision process is really placed in the right place, or put in the right place. And then also, you're not wasting a lot of time making sentence level corrections and then realizing later that the student should probably just remove that paragraph altogether. So it's saving you time as well. It really helps prioritize that. And if a student gets back a paper that's really bleeding with corrections all over the place, sentence level remove this word, move this period, put a semicolon here, put a comma there, and it's just bleeding with all these red marks. A student is only going to think and see that, okay, these sentence level issues, these grammatical issues are the most important thing. And really they aren't. And so you've wasted your time, and also you've redirected their attention towards something that is less important. In contrast, if you were to give feedback where you're saying, okay, you didn't address this point of the assignment sheet or this part of the rubric, or your main idea is a little confusing to me, or I see where you're going here, but then you lost me at the end. These bigger picture things in terms of main idea and flow and structure, organization, and all those things, these higher order concerns, are most important in terms of getting the overall shape of what you want. And then if there's enough time in the process and they can polish it at the sentence level, then great, you can get to that point. So my advice to you all is, as you give feedback, focus more on these higher order concerns. Of course, you might mark a few egregious issues or common issues that are repetitive at the sentence level throughout the whole paper, but don't dwell too much on that. Really focus more on these higher order concerns first, so that you're directing the student's attention and you're saving your time and having the most impact possible. Thank you.